Join me today as I make a Pennsylvania Dutch Shoofly Pie. I'm starting by milling some soft white wheat berries. I had some pie crusts in my freezer, so I just grabbed one of those left over from the holiday season, and I can't waste them, so I'm not making a homemade pie crust today. Shoofly pie is an Amish pie that sometimes is eaten for breakfast. It's basically a molasses pie, so if you like things like ginger snaps, a spice cake, this is the recipe for you. I'm going to par bake my pie crust for 10 minutes in a 375 degree oven. Make sure that you use pie weights. Here you can see I'm just using pennies. So the first part we're going to make is the crumb topping. You'll need 1 cup of whole wheat flour, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, followed up with 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Blend that well, trying to get all the lumps out of the brown sugar. I just use my fingers and kind of rub them together to get those lumps out. Whenever we would go to visit my grandmother, we would have shoofly pie, and it's just fond memories of being younger, so I wanted to give this one a try. You are going to cut into the crumble mixture 1/4 cup of butter. It's always fun looking through my mother's old recipe box and finding recipes like this. There are 2 types of shoofly pie. There is a wet bottom pie, which we are making today, and there is one that is more cake-like. Once mixed well, go ahead and set those crumbles off to the side, and it is time to start on the molasses portion. To a new bowl, go ahead and add 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of flour. Once again, I am using soft whole wheat flour, and you're going to blend that together. To this mixture, add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, blend well, and then add 1/2 cup of molasses. Just make sure it's not Blackstrap molasses. That is too strong of a flavor for this. If you're not a fan of molasses, you can do 1/4 cup of molasses and 1/4 cup of dark corn syrup to cut the molasses flavor down. Time to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now this is an old-fashioned Pennsylvania Dutch or Amish recipe. Sometimes the Amish are referred to as Pennsylvania Dutch. Go ahead and beat 1 room temperature egg and then add it to the mixture and stir in well. We did live in an area that had a lot of Amish people, but unfortunately none of the Amish stores near us sold shoofly pie, so it's been a long time since I've had this recipe. I'd really appreciate it if you would like this video, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. You are going to pour 1 cup of boiling water and add it extremely slowly to this molasses mixture, stirring constantly while you are adding it. You just want to make sure that you aren't cooking the egg, so that's why you're adding it slowly. Because we lived in that area with the Amish, we got to know them very well, and they are absolutely wonderful to deal with. Top quality, everything that they do, and just because they don't have electricity and don't drive cars, they use horse and buggy, they do other things that you probably wouldn't expect. Like, I was shocked the first time that I saw them at the grocery store. They were buying cornflakes and ice cream just like everybody else. Grab that par-baked pie shell, and you are going to put about 1 cup of the crumbs that you made earlier on the bottom of the pie shell, and then very slowly pour the molasses over top of it, scraping out all of the thick molasses that might be stuck in your bowl. We had Amish that redid the roof on our house one year, and they were so efficient, but what was so wonderful was they had a pie break every morning. So they worked for about 2 hours, and then they took a break, and everybody had a slice of pie. very slowly and very carefully sprinkle over the top of that liquidy molasses the crumb topping. You're going to place this into a 375-degree preheated oven. Make sure that you put it on a baking sheet. You do not want any of that molasses burning in your oven. As you will see when I pull mine out, I had a little bit bubbling up over the side, so I was very grateful that I had the pan underneath. It doesn't quite look as professional as what I remember, but it did taste delicious. You can see that gooey molasses bottom and the delicious crumb topping. Thank goodness the only thing that counts is how good it tastes and not the way that it looks. I hope you'll give this one a try. Thank you for joining me here at White Shadow Fare.